What up? It's your boy McLean from the Entrepeak podcast, bringing you another story from another entrepreneur from Utah. I'm here with Reese from Mose Martin. Pretty cool. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah. So we did a little background search on you, and we went on the site.
Records pulled up.
Yeah, and we saw on your site, it was really interesting. You said this is dedicated to Mose Martin Reese.
Yep.
Okay, that's the business.
Yep.
Okay. Tell us that story. Who is Mose Martin Reese? I'm assuming he's a relative.
Yep.
Tell us that story and why you chose that name.
So Mose was my gramps' dad's side. He was one of the first podiatrists in Utah, so he had, zero relation to eyewear or the optical world, but just a good guy. I don't know. I really looked up to him. He ran a shrewd business, but a very good business. People loved him as a doctor, and I thought it was a fitting tribute. And one of the hardest parts, at least for me, when starting a business, this is like my fourth jaunt down this road, was naming it. And it was a name that I personally attached to, and I felt like it was easy to pronounce, and I feel like it rolls off the tongue easy. So
Cool.
I don't know, that's pretty much, that's how.
Cool. Yeah, actually, so you can tell us a little bit about what Mose Martin actually is, but from what I see, it's a luxury eyewear, is what you say on your site, right?
Yep.
And I feel like that fits the name. It's kind of like Aston Martin, kind of.
Oh yeah.
Kind of reminds me of that as like a luxury car a little bit. So that's cool. A fitting name. But yeah, tell us a little bit about what Mose Martin is.
Yeah. So what it is a 2-year journey of me going out to build, in my opinion, the best optical wear that the world has to offer. It took a really long time to understand how that was done. But the idea is that there are brands that people pay absurd amounts of money for, $500+ a frame, and there's no difference in their quality between Mose Martin and, well, between us and them. And I wanted to create something that people could obtain that level of luxury and quality, but at a more affordable price point. There's a lot of great brands out there like Warby Parker, which I'm sure you guys are familiar with. Mm-hmm. They're great, they're big. Their product is on the lower tier, I would say, quality-wise. And so my hope is that I can convince people to move up just a little bit to get much better quality, and those that are used to paying, $500+ to step it down and get just as good a quality. Yeah. So it's kind of a happy medium, I feel like, and yeah, so that's the goal.
Cool. So so speaking of that 2-year journey, there was a Facebook post that you had where you said this is 15 months of frustration coming to fruition or whatever. Yeah. What does that mean? What was the 15 months of frustration?
Okay, just figuring out how to make it work. I'm a one-man band, I had to design the product. I didn't know the first thing about designing eyewear, so I had to figure that out. I didn't know how to locate a quality factory. Like, of course, you can go onto Alibaba and do the regular digging, but to actually get the level of quality I was going after, I found that those people don't exist there. So after, I want to say 5, maybe 6 months of going down that path and getting samples, expensive samples, then I learned I didn't have to pay so much for because I was dumb at the beginning. I didn't know what I was doing. Spending money and getting back product that I wasn't happy with, just feeling really frustrated. I finally one day got onto Quora, and I was looking through some posts, and I found that there was this factory in China, which typically is a swear word, in like the optical world. It's like China doesn't do legit, but they actually do legit stuff. Like, I found this girl who worked for this factory, family-owned business, been making frames since 1860, big name frames. Big names, and she kind of just detailed what makes them them. And so I reached out to her on Facebook. I found out she couldn't talk to me on Facebook because China has like weird social
yeah,
laws
I've heard of that. Yeah.
and such.
Hmm.
So she emailed me privately, and then we started talking on Skype, and that went on every single night for I think 7 months. And
Wow.
I got my designs down, and she actually helped me improve those. She was like a saving grace, right? Like I was looking for someone, like deeply looking for someone, and that was her. And her name is Leah. If you're watching, Leah, I know you're not, but if you are, thank you.
Shout out to Leah.
Her name's actually not Leah. That's like her American name that she uses, but
We hope you're watching, Leah.
yeah, it's like Yushin or something.
Cool.
But she's really cool. She helped me perfect the design. She told me where I was off. And yeah, I got samples from them, and they knocked it out of the park. And
So you said Cora?
yeah, Cora.
What is that? I've never heard of that.
Cora's like a question and answer forum. It's like people can ask highly specific questions, and because it's a crowdsourced environment, like you'll get answers. Like I remember one guy said, "What was it like to sell to Steve Jobs?" You know, and there was like 10 people that were like, "Oh yeah,
Wow.
I had face-to-face meetings with him, and I sold to him, and this is what it was like." So it's like you can find answers to almost anything on there, and I think that's for anyone trying to start out. I think that's like an invaluable resource that I wish I would have had or looked at way earlier on, but
Right, we should have looked at that.
proved helpful for me.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what was like? So you said like money issues, trying to figure things out. Not necessarily money issues, but like paying too much for certain things.
Oh yeah.
And trying to figure things out. What was like the biggest hurdle that you had to overcome before you launched?
Oh man, the single biggest hurdle was once I had placed my order, because the quantity. Well, okay. First off, I had to negotiate the quantity down because
Okay.
they're usually used to making thousands in a single run, and I was like, I'm not gonna drop 100K to get my first frames in, so I had to negotiate the crap out of them. And we finally got to a happy medium, and I placed the order. Which was a nightmare in and of itself, just organizing like all the paperwork to make sense to them. They mismatched some of the colors, so like halfway through we had to reorder acetate, which is the material the frames are made out of, and just different things like that. But that was the hardest part, just actually placing the order and getting it here. I had to manufacture a case, or I had to identify a case manufacturer and a packaging manufacturer, and that was like headache all over again because I had to find new people, but I finally found them. And then once they finally shipped the product, I then understood there's this thing called U.S. Customs, and eyewear is considered a medical device, so you have to have like
dang.
a really high or a really expensive import license essentially. And I didn't want to pay $8,000, but that's what it was looking like until I finally did some digging and I found out, oh yeah, there's brokers that can do this for me. So I found a broker, and 4.5 months, 5 months later, I actually got my product. So
Jeez.
placed the order in like October, got it in April.
So everything is running smooth now.
Everything's great now. I have the products here, and I've like fixed all those kinks, and
Yeah.
reorders and everything will go.
So that is 15 months of frustration.
It was-
maybe more. I don't know.
It was actually, it ended up being like 19 total.
Jeez.
But yeah. It was
So,
around there.
so take us up to the launch date. What did you prepare, or how did you prepare for the launch date?
I didn't prepare enough. I'll say
Okay.
that. Like, I should have built hype before I launched.
Okay.
I think I posted like one thing on my personal Instagram, and I was like, "Hey everyone, I've been designing glasses," and they're like, "What?" And they're like, "That's cool," and it got like a little bit of attention. But I should have been building it pre-launch, and I read a lot of people saying the same thing, but I was too busy working on the product and fixing all those issues and building the website that I was just like, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So should have done that. Lesson learned.
So I was gonna ask that. That would be your biggest thing that you would do differently.
One of them.
Post more on social media, get
Yeah.
more hype around it.
Build hype. I'll talk about these guys a little bit later, but I have a cousin that's launching a children's brand, a like high-end knitwear brand for kids called James Street. Shout out to James Street. And you should totally talk to them, by the way. They're here in Utah.
All right.
But,
James Street.
She has done it perfectly. Like
Cool.
they've been building hype for almost a month now, and they've got amazing photography, and the branding's on point, and people are talking about it. And it's just like once they launch, they've already got that built-in audience that I didn't have.
Yeah.
You know? So lesson learned.
Yeah. Hey, you learn.
Yeah.
You live and you learn.
Live and
Then you move
learn.
on. So you talked a little bit about why sunglasses. You kind of wanted to have like a luxury eyewear, but be at an appropriate price. But is that the reason why you chose sunglasses?
Oh man, sunglasses, eyewear in general is something that I've loved. I think it's the perfect accessory. Like I think it's like, you know, the eyes are the windows into the soul, they say, and like glasses are the accentuator of that. And I feel like you can communicate a lot about your personality. I feel like from a fashion standpoint, which is also something I love, they're a staple. There's a lot of rich history, iconography with it, with Hollywood and the whole Gatsby area of the 20s, and there's just a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, on your site, you had that Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, his quote. Yeah, what was
My
that quote?
He said,
Remember?
Without my glasses, I'm fat and 60. With my sunglasses, I'm Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Like the movie star is with his glasses.
Cool.
When he's not the movie star. So that was an awesome quote.
Cool. So what are you doing now to grow your business?
Now that I didn't spend any time on the social side before, now I am spending time on the social side. I'm working on drumming that up. Photography is a big part of that. Having products or photos that communicate the product well and sell the brand, that's been a big investment for me. So I have ongoing shoots. I've got another shoot happening next week and then another one the week after, and it will be just ongoing. So I'm spending a lot of time there, posting a lot on social media, you know, finding influencers and interacting with them, and
Cool.
I'm talking with some PR firms now to kind of get the word out on the wire to some publications and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think the brand is me. It's all vintage inspired, going back to my grandpa. So I think, you know, the vintage aesthetic speaks to me. I think it speaks to a lot of people. So yeah, it's a quality design, the branding. I want to build a community around the brand. I mean, I want people to love the product passionately, and so I hope to provide, you know, the best customer experience and product experience that you can find. So
Cool, man. Yeah, dude. We checked out all your social medias. Your photos are pretty sick. I like them. So
thank you.
Check them out. We're going to link to all of his information below. Website, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever else you're on. We are going to jump into the super dope, mega awesome speed round. 5 questions. You answer at the speed of light. But it doesn't have to be the speed of light, but it has to be fast.
That's fast.
Okay.
I'll try.
All right. So question number 1, what social media platform do you spend the most time on for your business?
Instagram.
Instagram. One word
Easy
answer. What Utah brand, you already talked about this, but what Utah brand are you currently following?
Okay, so can I give more than one?
Yeah, if you have a couple, go for it. Yeah,
so
go for
James Street, my cousin's knitwear brand that's launching soon. It's beautiful. The product's amazing. She's a FITM graduate, so she's actually a fashion designer, knows what she's doing. Amazing stuff. Honestly, they're not in Utah anymore, but they hail from Utah. Stance. I mean, they're everywhere, and it's kind of cliche, but like they've made something blasé and boring into something that like people are freaking out about.
Yeah.
And they do a ton in sales.
Yeah.
So like, I think over 100 million from what I've heard.
Oh, dang.
I know some guys that are on that side. So
Oh, cool.
they do a lot in sales. So I really look up to that. And honestly, third, if I'm going to say it, they've already been acquired, so they're no longer based in Utah, but a baby company called JJ Cole Collections that I worked for 4 years. Came home from an LDS mission, and I got in there, and there was 20 of us, and I moved into sales there. That's where I got exposure to like the retail world and how building a brand works. And I watched a guy named Jeremy White, who's now a mentor of mine, build that thing up to, I think we were doing 22 million a year in sales, and then he sold it for, I think 44 million, and 20, you know, no VC backing, nothing, just totally bootstrapped. So I completely look up to that. So I learned a lot from that.
That wasn't speedy, but that was a good answer.
That was not speed.
A good
Opposite
answer.
of speed.
Okay, next question.
Okay.
What are your plans for the future going forward this year?
This year, I want to roll out my pharmaceutical offerings. I designed 10 frames. I've only launched 3. So I want to launch the entire collection by the end of the year, crossing my fingers. And I want to eventually offer a home try-on program.
Oh, cool.
So hopefully by the end of the year.
Nice.
Again, that was not fast, but that's my
That was a little
answer.
faster. Okay, this one's an easy one.
Okay. Okay.
Who's your business hero?
Walt Disney.
Walt Disney. Got the Mickey
Right there,
shirt.
right
Dope.
Yeah, Walt Disney. Man, I can't. Yeah, that's my one word.
All right, you can tell us why you think Walt Disney.
I mean, people that know me will roll their eyes at this, but I think he is the quintessential entrepreneur of our age. Before the Steve Jobs of the world, the Elon Musks, there was Walt Disney, who influenced film and Hollywood and technology and sound and animation and theme parks and business in general and branding and merchandising. Like, he is the complete package. I don't think there's anyone that will top him.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the other guys would have done much without him. So
Yeah. Hey.
that's my lightning fast answer on that too.
Shout out to Disneyland. What is one piece of advice you would give somebody just starting out as an entrepreneur?
Just start. Just
Okay.
go do it. I mean, you can don't go online and research how to start a business. Don't read Forbes and Business Week and all their crap articles, which they're okay, but they're all just opinion. Just go out and start, because I feel like everyone will tell you no. You can think of 1,000 reasons not to do it, but I think it was you that posted the Chinese proverb.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that.
That's such a good proverb, man. It's like, best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now. And
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. Like, just get out and do it. You'll learn, you'll fall and fail, but you'll get back up and you'll be smarter.
Well, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah,
Guys,
thank you.
check out Mose Martin. Super dope. We're going to get a couple photos of them, and you can check them out. We'll link them below. Thanks for joining the show.
Thanks, guys.
This is the Entrepeak podcast.
Okay, and then since we didn't do this at the first, will you just clap fairly loud?
You got it.
Yeah,
Like right now?
just right now.